Yeah. He's so in the building, man. So, yeah. What's good, yeah? So, like, on this video, we're gonna talk about like being lost in the sauce. You understand? Being lost in the sauce. So, what is being lost in the sauce? So, basically, a lot of woke people, they tend to like when like they receive downloads, you understand, when they receive information from the universe, they tend to think that they own this information, you understand, but they don't understand that like we all draw information from that same source, you understand, and they'll only they'll only receive downloads that resonate with however they see themselves, you understand, like each and every individual. It's like that, you understand. You're gonna get downloads from the universe that resonate with how you see yourself, you understand, so that you can see that okay, this is the information that is coming at me, that is gonna come through me, to the universe, you understand, based upon the person that I am, the kind of person that I am, by default. Because like, okay, let me put it this way then, because you have to understand that like each and every individual, through getting this, like we all come from one source, right? So each and every individual, when they go back to that source, they're gonna go back to wherever that they came from, understand? So in that transition back into the like spiritual realm, when they go back to the spiritual realm, that's how, however they were seeing themselves in here, that's how they're gonna see themselves there, but from a spiritual perspective. Like how I always try to explain it and bring it down to the third dimension, so that you can understand with things that are happening around you. You understand? So like, it's like now when you go back into your space, it's like meditating. It's like going back to sleep. You understand? You go back to that same space. So now that's where we also get to create, because that's where we come from. That's how we created this. That's how God created this through us, or created us. I don't know however that you see. You understand? So now each and every person is gonna receive different information. You understand? Based up, like it's gonna be the same information, right? But it's gonna filter through different kinds of personalities. So they're gonna see that information in different personalities. It's gonna be personified every generation in a different way, but behind the same energy signatures. You understand? So like, when you receive information and then you receive downloads that you are, say you come from a spiritual lineage called so and so, right? Don't now think just because you found that like frequency or name or whatever that you call it, not like, it doesn't mean that now that you found that about yourself, then you are that there. It means like that's the energy that you are channeling, you understand, through yourself, through that solar system that you have, through your body, you understand, like it filters all the way from the universe and then through your body. They are always there, those energies. You just get to choose the one that you resonate with when you're in here, simply because you have a mind, you understand. By default, your mind is going to choose for you if you can't choose for yourself, if you can't exercise your spirit enough to know when it's choosing for you or when you're choosing for the spirit, you understand, type shit. So now let's go back to, okay, say the dream world, right? The dream world. Say you are in the dream world, right? And you receive a dream, right? That you are, maybe that you, say maybe that you are abducted, for example. Yeah, you are abducted. So now after you receive that dream, obviously through receiving that dream, you're gonna think about it oftentimes, you understand, to a point whereby you now start seeing spaceships or things that look like saucers and stuff like that, you understand? And you end up calling yourself an alien, things like that, for example. And then you say you come from an alien cult or whatever, you understand? Because like it doesn't make sense. There are aliens and then there's you know. And y'all be like all of these forms of personifications, they all serve one purpose, but they just have to work with one another. They just have to learn to work with one another through love, through intelligence, you understand, and things like that. Gratitude, all of these things, they teach you different forms, because that's where you filter each and every idea that you take through. Some of these ideas you filter them through your solar plexus. Some of them you filter them through your love, you understand, your love, your heart, you understand, which is your heart. You filter them through, like each and every emotion has its own space, and I could say energy field that filters everything that is out here, the source, basically, that filters the source differently according to however that body is generated, you understand, the body that carries the spirit that is within is generated. So, or like programmed, how is it's engineered, like by nature's intelligence. So that's who you are, right? But there's also now you channeling other people, and then you confuse yourself and say that you are these people, you are these persons, you understand? Because say, like I made an example with the aliens, so now you channel this kind of god or a person who've lived before and who call themselves god, or who view themselves from their higher chakras, and now everyone view them as a sort of like god, an angelic being. And then they start to get lost into that and think that the information that they get through in the source, that's who they are, you understand? That's being lost in the source, understand? That's the literal meaning of being lost in the source, understand? It's not being lost like when it starts to manifest on this physical world now. It's the very same people, like the ones who actually play it all out more than everybody, are those ones who actually physically get lost into the source, understand? Get lost into everything that is happening around, understand? Those ones are too lost into the source, because they are lost into every idea, understand, every influence. Now, when you are able to channel, or when you are able to see that, okay, this is actually what is happening, then you're gonna be able to choose which ones you channel to work with you, you understand? Or you can choose to work alone and use your own spiritual nature to see and create the visions that you are seeing, you understand? Simple as that. That's all we are doing, guys. But now we are trying to look at people, physical people, and people, they change. People they need to change. We change. Everything that is physically changes, it transforms. So by default, when you start to look at a person in that way that you think you're gonna channel them, then you're gonna be lost in the source. Understand? That's how you're gonna be lost in the source. So you have to understand that, like, you have to first channel your own space. Channel your own spirit into your body. Make sure that you are at the spirit that you truly want to resonate with, that you truly want to be in. And once you are in that space, you don't have to name it, because once you name it, you are filtering it through whatever that you are naming it. So if you call it happiness, you're gonna filter it through your solar plexus. If you call it love, you're gonna filter it through your heart chakra. You understand? Things like that. And you don't be able to filter through other chakras that need the information, that need the light. You understand? So once you channel yourself, then you're gonna be able to see which which part of source has the information that you resonate with. Understand? So that you won't be lost in the source and find yourself channeling each and everything. Understand? To the point that you end up doing things that you wouldn't normally do. You understand? So if you want to check like for now, if you have been channeling, or if you are lost in the source, aka if you've been channeling other, like if you've been channeling, like I said, other people's names, you know, however that they see themselves, and the names that they give that state of being. How, like every time that you channel that, you inviting those people, those spirits. Remember, it's not only those people who had that kind of spirit. So it's a lot of spirits. So each and every spirit, it might not be that specific person who was here. It might be a new spirit. You understand? That resonates with that. You know, so it's gonna be channeled and live the life that it wants through you. You understand? And you're gonna think that it's you and the mistakes that you're doing, not knowing that you've given another spirit that you're fucking uh